Water is essential for life. We use water to quench our thirst, to take a bath, to cook our meals, to clean our homes, to flush the toilet, and many more. Plants also need water to live. The sea, which is 75% of the earth, is water. It is home to a lot of sea creatures. Did you know that the earth has been recycling water for over 4 billion years? Water moves in our seas, lakes, rivers, oceans, the atmosphere, and the land in the ongoing cycle called the water cycle. Let's take a look on how the different stages of the water cycle work. Energy from the sun heats up the surface of the earth, causing the temperature of the water in our rivers, lakes, and oceans to rise. When this happens, water becomes gas called vapor in the process called evaporation. Plants and trees also lose water to the atmosphere in the process known as transpiration. As water vapor rises up high into the sky, it cools and turns back into a liquid, forming clouds. This process is called condensation. Currents high up in the air move these clouds around the globe. When too much water has condensed, the water droplets in the clouds become too big and heavy for the air to hold them, and so they fall back down to earth as rain, snow, hail, or sleet, a process known as precipitation. The fallen precipitation is then collected in bodies of water such as rivers, lakes, and oceans, from where it will eventually evaporate back into the air, beginning the cycle all over again. Water that reaches land directly may flow across the ground and collect in the oceans, rivers, or lakes. This water is called surface runoff. Some of the precipitation will instead soak into the soil, from where it will slowly move through the ground until eventually reaching a river or the ocean. And that's how the water cycle works. Let's review the stages in the water cycle. First is evaporation or transpiration. Next is condensation. Last is precipitation. And before the cycle goes back to the first stage, the water that goes back to the oceans, rivers, and lakes is called surface runoff. So how can we take part in the water cycle? People can help by fighting the risk for climate change. The rising global temperatures greatly affect the natural processes in the atmosphere. There will come a time when the seas, rivers, and lakes will dry up. This will deeply affect our livelihood, such as food shortage, epidemic diseases, and most especially the loss of clean water. So don't say that you have no part in the water cycle, because we can be a factor in changing the cycle itself.